Shadow games have always been an iconic part of Yu-Gi-Oh! As kids, we were always scared that Yugi or Joey were going to be sent to the Shadow Realm, and as adults, we all collectively realized how much of a meme the Shadow Realm is, and how it's probably an allegory for hell, but don't tell 4 kids that. But if you know Yu-Gi-Oh! Well enough, then you know what Season 0 is, and if you know what Season 0 is, then you know that there was some messed up stuff in there. But it's okay, because I'm here to tell you, yes, you at home with the Cheeto dust on your fingers, which Shadow games I, and maybe you, could possibly survive. So let's get into it. Okay, so the point of this game is that you and your opponent both take turns picking up cards off a row beside you, and whatever that card says is the number of spaces you can move closer and closer towards that bag of cash, which is only 46 short spaces away. And not only that, say I picked a 7. Not only do I get to move forward 7 spaces, but my opponent also has to move backwards 7 spaces too, which sounds about as frustrating as playing I Am Brave.
Oh god, no!
And if I'm gonna be so honest, there is no strategy for this game. It literally is just luck. So if you ain't lucky, I don't know, man. Sucks for you. Although there is something that I have not mentioned yet, though, when it comes to this game. And it's that you're gonna have to be Spider-Man for a few minutes and climb up a rope with every step. But if you're not afraid of heights, you can climb a rope well and are at least a little bit lucky, then you got nothing to be afraid of. Nothing at all. Especially not the giant sea monster waiting to eat you if you lose. Alright, so I'm pretty sure YouTube's not going to like what this game is, so I'll explain the rules in a little bit of a more PG to PG-13 standards. You have to eliminate your opponent, but you're only allowed to use one finger to do it. I mean, you do get to pick the finger, which I guess helps, but how on earth are you going to annihilate someone with only one finger? Well, I may have a few ideas. If you knew this was the game you were going to play before it started, then the answer is simple. Just hold a water gun. Then all you need to do is just pick your index finger and pull the trigger of the water gun to dispatch your opponent, and you've won. But what if you don't have a water gun? Well, there is another solution. Just stick with me, okay? Y'all ever heard of the WWE? Take one look at this guy named Umaga and tell me it's not possible to eradicate someone with your thumb. Yes, just do that a few times and you'll be all good. Assuming you're okay with the ketchup on your hands afterwards that'll never truly wash off. Now, if you thought that you would have to act fast in that last game to exterminate your opponent before you got exterminated, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because in this game, like the goated show Minute to Win It used to say, every second counts. Here, a watch is placed on a pedestal and its stopwatch will start. You and your opponent have to take turns stopping the stopwatch as close as you can to when it gets to 10 seconds. And if it goes over, you're going under. By 6 feet. Because you're going to get hit by a giant pendulum, which you also have to avoid while stopping the watch. And what's my personal advice for beating this game? Simple. You get struck by lightning before the game starts, because as everyone knows, getting struck by lightning automatically gives you super speed. So not only do you get to win, you get to become the Flash after this. Sure, you have to live life through a CW show for the next few years, but other than that, hell, I see absolutely no downside to getting struck by lightning.
강함이?
You know what's something I do see a downside to? Touching broken glass while blindfolded, and that's exactly what this next game has. Okay, so the point of this game is that both you and your opponent have 2 broken mirrors, and you have to race to see who can put their mirror back together the fastest. Except, as I alluded to before, you are both blindfolded, and if you happen to accidentally take off your blindfold during the game, you'll end up like a dried out potato, and I can't do that. I can't lose my complexion. It's all I have! So how would I win this game? Simple. I just gently use my hands to go all across the glass. I find the biggest pieces first, lay them all out, and when I find the piece that I think is the biggest, I just chuck it at the other person's head to incapacitate them and end the game. And I'm confident that I could do it because they're going to be sitting right in front of me. What, you thought I was actually going to do the puzzle? Get out of here. I may love puzzles, but I can barely do them when I have both my eyes open and they're not made out of glass. The puzzle's not my eyes. So how do you think I'm going to do this? Okay, so now this is definitely the biggest game in terms of the playing field size. The rules are that both you and your opponent start on the same floor of a hospital, and you both have a golf ball and a club. Technically, Yugi used a stethoscope, but that's unfair, so we both get clubs. And whoever can hit their golf ball all the way down to the bottom floor first wins. Now in the anime, Yugi won this by shooting the ball into a mail slot that was connected to the first floor. And honestly, that already gives us the most optimal way to win this game. Not just by aiming for mail shoots though, because I'm sure that a lot of you, and definitely not I, have no aim when it comes to golf. So in this game, you're gonna have to use any and all routes and shortcuts you could possibly think of to your advantage. Any stairwell is your friend in this game, because you can just let her rip and make that ball cover as much distance as possible. It's also extremely important that you don't lose your ball, because if that happens, your opponent isn't just gonna wait for you. They're gonna get the chance to take as many turns as it takes hitting all the ball. They're gonna get the chance to take as many turns as they want hitting their ball while you're still looking for yours like it's the gosh darn One Piece. You know, this is the first game we've talked about where I think I actually gave good advice and didn't just say something hopefully mildly amusing. Feels nice. Okay, back to the funnies now.
お前の好きなクロロホルムの瓶。ゲームはこの瓶を使うことにする。
And lastly, we have the chloroform drop game, which, similar to the watch game, relies on a timer that will randomly drop one of a few bottles of chloroform from the ceiling. And you and your opponent have to take turns to catch them. And if you miss, it's nighty-night time. Because, you know, chloroform. Now, this is probably the least deadly game we've talked about, which for some reason was used against the creepiest and most deserving of the Shadow Realm villain in the show. Like Attempt, you drove a person insane over stealing a watch and don't do something similar to the attempted rapist? What is wrong with you? Whose court case did you judge? Tangent aside, would this be an easy Shadow game to win? In my opinion, yeah. As long as you can lock in and not get distracted by anything, you should always be able to catch the bottle when it falls. Unless you just suck at catching, but that's a different story. But what if you don't think you're fast enough? Well, my friends, I have a simple solution for that too. You just kill your opponent. Or, you know, just knock him out or trip him maybe. I don't know why I immediately went straight to murder. But guys, with that... Wait a minute. Did I say kill? No! YouTube! Wait! Don't do it! Like, subscribe! Bye-bye!